Have you been feeling a little bit stressed by all the world events and all the noise and drama and trauma and distractions going on out in the world? You owe it to yourself to take the next few minutes, chill out, and receive the healing frequencies from one of my favorite sacred musicians, Ashana, a master crystal bowl artist and sound healer.
Breathe and enjoy.
feel the divine feminine frequencies flowing so beautifully and powerfully through your music. Share with us your definition of divine feminine and what that has meant on your journey.
It keeps morphing. I've been very, very blessed to spend this past year in a course with one of my spiritual teachers and mantra teacher. And we've been studying what we call the ultimate Shakti, which is the feminine face of the Godhead. Studies of, what is this energy? My awareness of it is evolving and shifting. And what I'm experiencing, and can only describe this as an opening to now, is the awareness that Shakti, that the feminine power, the feminine is everything. It's not limited to our projection or our perception of what we in this time-space reality consider feminine or female. It is so far beyond that. It is everything. It is all of life. It is the stuff we love, it's the stuff we call good, and it's all the stuff that we reject and we say it's negative. It's the power, ferocity, spaciousness, it's the compassion, it's the strength.
It's the shadow shit as well.
Shadow shit as well. So it's all of it. It is like you take that divine intelligence in the manifestation of material existence. Everything is God, goddess, whatever you want to call it. So everything is there. The feminine is that expression of everything. We dissolve back into non-being, that kind of Shiva principle. We go back into that, and then out of non-being emerges being, and out of being goes back into non-being. It is this, divine dance. All I can do right now inside of myself is to open to a deeper understanding, a willingness to go past what my mind thinks that is, to go past the rational mind, past the conditioned mind, and just allow the sense of presence of divine feminine, divine masculine to grow and emerge inside of me. And that's where I am. Where is the divine feminine? In the bowls, it's in the carpet, it's in the trees that I'm looking at outside right now, it's in the hummingbird that's sitting in the branch, it's in your face, it's in my computer, it's in the light in the room, it's in everything.
One sacred breath, one sacred song, one sacred voice singing.
The infinite heart is about the heart taking the lead for us in our lives. It is about accepting all of us, every single part of us, the darkest parts of ourselves, the most loving and exalted parts of ourselves, the inspired parts of ourselves, and the parts of ourselves that are afraid and suffering. And extending a merciful, benevolent, compassionate love for every single iota, every single cell and atom, every single thought form, extending the energy of love to embrace all of it. That was my experience in learning what divine feminine energies are. The experience of being completely and totally embraced in love.
Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Santa
As much as I love your beautiful divine feminine frequencies and angelic soaring vocals, I must say I equally love your candor, your authenticity, and your ability to be just raw. In fact, I would love to take the viewers on a little journey through Ashana blogland. Collectively, we are in a massive healing crisis right now. It is grueling, challenging work. And I wish I could say to everyone, happy healing with a big chirpy grin on my face. I can't because you'd probably want to smack me. But I will say this, good journey to you, my friend. And if you dare to open wide, you will find love in the most stunning and unexpected places, and light, 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 waiting to be discovered everywhere. Be brave, be strong. This is your time to grow in ways you could never imagine. This is your time to let what's been buried in the mud float to the top and be seen in all its messy splendor. This is your time to be you, all of you, no exceptions. Last week, I found myself at one of those pivotal turning points where you either stay focused on your heart's true north or give into a particularly humdinger of a crazy, habituated, unconscious pattern, hell-bent on sliding into immeasurable pain and suffering. Which way should I go? Forget all the personal growth work you've done, all the mantras and chants you've chanted, all the qigong, yoga, seminars, workshops, or sound healing events you've attended, not to mention all the ones you have personally led. This brilliant pattern absolutely, categorically has no intention of shifting without a fight. In other words, get out of the way because things are about to get really, really messy. My distractions were not helping because that old contracted energy is, God knows, so boring. I leaned into one of my crystal singing bowls and started to play. Then I began chanting until the vibration began sinking into my belly. Within a few minutes, I could feel space beginning to permeate the insanity of my thinking mind. Eventually, my shoulders dropped. The sound saturated my being so much I could finally hear the voice of my guides, angels, and higher self, whispering me back home into myself. All the crazy thinking, the old patterns, the mishigas I was creating had surfaced because I was bumping straight up against my terror barrier. The terror barrier was erected to keep us safe at all costs and would, if perceived necessary, destroy everything we want, love, and believe in order to maintain the status quo. Whoa. Tell us about your most recent blog post.
I just wrote this little short piece about the vibrations of the words we speak. Hafiz just says, what we speak becomes the house we live in. The moment I saw that, I was like, oh, that is so perfect because it's all about the vibration of our energy and how that affects how we create our lives. So I went looking for an amazing image to capture this. And I found this image of a broken down room with a doorway with all the glass shattered and debris all over the floor and paint peeling on the ceiling and some, dilapidated chair. It's just junk all over it. My heart contracted, my throat contracted. Everything in my body just got tighter and tighter and tighter. And I thought, there's no way on God's green earth that I can actually put this on social media. Because, there was a part of my mind that's going, well, people always expect, that's my thinking, right? People expect from me this place of saying, peace, love, and light, and the angelic. It should have been a beautiful house with the sun shining in the windows and the flowers growing up on the way. But that wasn't the case. And for most of us, it's not the case. How many people do you know who, if you took every word, every thought, every belief system, and you translated that vibration into a room, into a home, what would you actually really see? Okay? And I'm talking about not the stuff we put out into the world, but that 95% running commentary that happens for all of us, myself included. That running commentary that's just back inside, back in the mind. It's the judge, it's the control freak, it's the perfectionist. I mean, you name her or him. I'm afraid to show this to you, but I'm going to show this to you anyway, because my heart spoke to me in that moment, and it said, "Oh, if even one person can hear these words, because this image is so startling. If even one person sees this image, sees the juxtaposition of Hafiz's brilliant words with that image, and remembers it the next time they speak, if it plants a seed." Are you listening? Do you think maybe this might apply to you? Just saying. So I wrote this piece about the experience of that and putting that together. I have an amazing spiritual teacher, and she gathered a group of us around her one day. We were in a class, and she said, if you really understood the impact that one negative thought had on your body, you would never speak a negative word again. Remember that moment, and I remember hearing her and the Shakti, because she's a pretty amazing woman, and the Shakti that came. You know, when you receive from a very awake and aware being, and you receive a transmission, and inside that transmission, literally, there are 10,000 bits of information that are backed up behind it, and they are coming at you like a tsunami. And there was nothing I could do except go, okay, I'm in, you know? And I have never forgotten that moment of her saying that. And I've never forgotten the moment of feeling that feeling. The moment I saw that picture and that Hafiz quote, it's like that moment with Brooke landed right into that picture and said, you know, it's time for you to look at this again, Ashana. We are like at do or die. We are really, teed up. You either go this way or you go this way.
Shit or get off the pot time.
Past that now.
Yeah.
I mean, we are really at this point that if we don't come together, we are, as a collective, going to have yet another experience globally, environmentally. And, it is all there. 1992, Father B. Griffiths was talking about this, and his languaging was the same. He was saying, we are at a crisis point where we are stuck in Western materialism, and if we don't change, we are in big trouble. We need to go within. We need to shift our relationship with ourselves, shift our relationship with spirituality, shift our relationship with the earth, shift our relationship with relationship. So we truly can come into relationship with divine intelligence in order for us to come into relationship with each other.
There's no spiritual bypass here with Ashana.
This is why I loved writing this blog piece. It was really a stark reminder for me of how much our internal conversation literally impacts everything. We have to remember this. Our spoken word vibration, our thought vibration, our belief vibration, our intentions on a daily basis, on a minute to minute basis affect everything around us in places we don't even know. And if we look around us right now and we look at the level of divisiveness, of hatred, of violence, inequities, we have a really excellent picture of what a big part of our consciousness as a collective consciousness is actually creating. And it is time for us all, myself included, everybody, we have got to step up now. And it starts here with remembering as much as you can during the day, as much as you can offer this to reflect on. Oh, I'm in the grocery store and I look at that woman with the crying child and I go, what's the matter with her? Doesn't she know how to take care of that kid? They couldn't clean this floor better. So I hear that voice inside of me. It might not sound like that in the moment. It could be very, very subtle, and it could just be this automatic emotional experience of just withdrawing and disconnecting. My husband and I were talking about transgender and non-binary people. Thinking about this made me really uncomfortable. It was just probably my upbringing, not being exposed and having a lot of conversation, just not understanding. And so I just had judgments about it, even though I was, and I could say this to myself, oh, you're really judgmental about that. And I knew I was being judgmental about it, but I didn't know another way. So my husband and I last night, we watched Netflix with Jonathan Van Ness of Queer Eye. He is a non-binary transgender person, and he was doing this episode on understanding what that's all about. And he brought in like 6 or 8 transgender non-binary people to have conversation. It was absolutely enlightening for me. I was crying. My heart was opened. And I thought, my God, we all need to see this. We all need to be in conversation with each other. And how many people do we see on a daily basis where our judgment, because it's collective, because it's what we've been conditioned to do, we just instantly respond with a rote habitual pattern that says, this is different, I don't like it, this is this, whether they're black, green, tan, brown, gay, straight, woman, man. I had that experience. We talked about this the other day. I had that experience growing up because I was blonde haired and blue eyed. I can't tell you how much I got told that I was a dumb blonde. Oh, you're just a dumb blonde. And then a dumb, ugly blonde, and that was some of what I endured. Sure, we all have that. And it is time now for all of us to become very mindful.
A guest I had who talked about the fact that she monitored her thoughts, watched them, guarded them, and would catch them before they did damage. And oftentimes when she would catch them, she would say to herself, is this what I want to bless myself with?
I love that. Is this what I want to bless myself?
You were called perfect when you were growing up, right?
I wanted to be the perfect child so that I could be the perfect child for my parents and my family, because that's how I thought that I would get love, and failed miserably over and over and over and over again. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy that, I wasn't going to be perfect, but I wanted them to see me, to recognize me, and to, it was the strategy that I figured out for surviving in the family. Now there's beauty in perfection and in striving for perfection. And what I love is the beauty of that, but there's also a shadow side of it that perfectionists need to embrace. The shadow side of perfectionism is paralyzing. I wrote this blog because I had just read Andre Agassi's memoir, which, if you have not read it, it is so brilliant that anybody who is struggling with perfectionism needs to read this book. This should be mandatory reading for everyone, regardless of what their career is. You do not have to be a tennis aficionado. His memoir is absolutely life-changing. It was recommended to me by one of my coaches. Like, I dog-eared probably about 50 of the pages in it, because he is so authentic and vulnerable in his process of sharing how he moved through his life with the weight of perfectionism literally driving everything, and how he unwound this. I am a perfectionist. I love the perfectionist part of me that is present in my music, that can create such beautiful music, and that is constantly striving to do it better and better and better. I love that in Thomas. We've learned to allow our self-love, our kindness, our willingness to make mistakes, our willingness to enjoy the making of what the perfectionists would see as mistakes, and to see the beauty that comes out of that. Thomas has taught me that so well. It can be very, very easy to focus on getting it right, do that, you are doomed. It will never work that way. So, but there are times and places to bring in the eye of discernment of the perfectionist. Look at something and just go, severely out of tune. We need to like do something about that. Or that word doesn't go with this. Or yes, I'm listening to the arrangement and the energy just isn't there, you know. So you have this perfectionism, and that's what perfectionism, you know, got Andre obviously his championship titles, but he also shares the crippling aspect of perfectionism. Musicians and artists and sound healers, crystal bowl players, or, you know, tuning forks, whatever it is, you bring those in and you're trying to do something perfectly or trying to play it perfectly. You know, it's so important to, when you're in the moment, you've got to like let go of the technique. You got to let go. You literally you let go with the intense focus on the technique. You let go and you keep your eye and your heart on the intention.
You set an intention before you play the bowls or before a performance or before you go into a recording session?
There's an intention to hold a very high vibration to the best of my ability, to come in and to just allow light to be present in that moment, that light should be pouring through my hands, pouring through my heart, pouring through my voice, that I should be in relationship with my bowls to such an extent that vibration of the music that came out of that would be an opening, a way shower, a pathfinder for everybody present. And so it's not something I was like really consciously constructing in that moment. Then as soon as the intention's set, I let go. And then I listen. I'm present. I listen. I'm present with the bowls. I'm present with myself. To the best of my ability, I listen. And then when my thoughts come in and they go, you know, while I'm playing, as certainly happens, and it goes na 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 na, you know, I know from all of my skills how to bring myself back in a nanosecond. So it's about awareness. So you set that intention, and then you commit to, I set the intention, and then I commit to being fully present and aware, and to a state of deep listening.
So, Ashana, I was wondering if you had any tips you could share with us on how to calm the mind.
When the mind has taken over, the conditioned mind, the habit of perfectionism, and I don't care whether it's perfectionism, whether it's, you know, I'm in my head, I'm in my thinking part of me and I can't shift that, or I'm in a challenging moment and I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to respond. The best thing you can do, and this is for any situation you find yourself in, drop our awareness down first thing right into the pelvis. Eastern teachings on Qigong will point to the Dantian. My training has been lower than the Dantian for women. It's literally to go all the way down into the pelvis, into the center of the womb, and plant yourself there. And imagine that you're taking a breath from that space. And mindfulness, you know, here, right below the navel, coming fully into your body as best you can in the moment. And then taking a breath and giving yourself permission to have that process take a few minutes. Because when the mind is racing, you cannot stop it. It's going to be like a runaway train. Feel that? You have to actually you apply the brake gently, you know, and give the train time to, you know, it's going down the track, you know, 90 billion miles an hour, and you put your foot on the brake and it goes, and the mind's going, na, 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 and you're just like, I'm going to breathe. Na, 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 I'm going to breathe. Those are like two very simple things that one can do. And the other thing which I love, which is a practice that I've learned from several places, But when you are really, really in the soup, take your hands and go like this. Just go like this. And again, just breathe. This is one of the most comforting mudras. This application of very gentle pressure to the area of the heart is sending a message into the heart that it's okay, it's safe, right? So this is a wonderful, wonderful practice to do to pretty instantaneously calm down any level of anxiety.
I love this mudra also. I do it in my dancing.
This is a go-to place for me. This is a go-to place for me, taking a breath. And as I described in that blog, you know, just looking at the body, doing a quick internal scan of the body. You know, where am I holding? Is it in the back of my neck? Is it in my shoulders? Is it in my hands? I've had the most amazing things happening to me in the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks, where I become really keenly aware of the tension in the muscles of my eyes. And so I've been working with them actively during the day, and when I'm chanting mantras, when I'm singing, you know, I'm actually, let me just relax deeply my eyes. And what I found for myself, and it'd be really interesting for your viewers to see if this applies to them, anybody else, is that the connection between my eyes and my breath, the tension in my eyes and my ability to breathe is hardwired. What I've been doing is I take my fingers, so I'm actually holding my eyelids and I'm feeling the movement of my eyes under my fingers. And I'm working as I'm, you know, chanting or as I'm praying or as I'm saying anything, I'm letting them go. I'm letting the muscles go. And you can feel it. The jaw releases, the diaphragmatic muscle releases, the legs begin to release. It's amazing how much, because, you know, our eyes, we're like grasping. We're visually grasping. We have such a high visual information world. We are literally using the muscles of our eyes to grab everything. And if we grab enough information, we're going to be safe. Really been looking at this. This is just, it's actually profound when you think about it. And to unwind the tension from the eyes so they're not grasping, they're receiving.
So how did the bowls show up in your life?
I had no idea when I signed up for this. It was back in 1999. At that point in time, I was a musician and this was just a bowl, right? It was like, oh, another instrument, cool, you know? And I had no idea what I was getting into. I just knew that it was completely magical and had my name on it, and I was going to put him into music, and that light had come to live in my house.
As we come to a close, where can people find you, Ashana?
If you want to hear brand new music, it's coming soon. Also, I support people in finding the right crystal singing bowls for them. I have been doing that literally for 20 years. Those of you who are ready to bring the bowls into your life, I would love to help you. And for those of you who are already playing bowls or want to play bowls and are ready to step into crystal bowl mastery with me, that is absolutely something that's available to you. We can set up a time. You can reach me at soundofashana.com. It's me on Facebook and IG and YouTube, TikTok now. So you can find my music on Spotify, on Amazon, on iTunes, on Pandora. You just open up the internet, type in my name, and I think you'll find it.
So I hope you enjoyed the show, got value out of it. I hope you received a healing. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and join us in the conversation with the goddess. Normally, I close every show with a prayer or a blessing. And today, inspired by Ashana, I'm going to share a song that the goddess channeled through me for all of you, for all of us. The goddess blessing song. This blessed day, you are loved even more than you can know. And with each passing day of life, we watch you as you grow to be more full of wisdom, kindness and divine. Oh, dear one, you're a masterpiece, a miracle design. So may the goddess bless us and keep us all aglow. And we wish you loving kindness, and may all blessings flow.